So welcome to Berlin. Herzlich willkommen in Berlin. Welcome to Berlin. And I have to try it out. I have to, forgive me if I'm doing it wrong. 我很高兴认识你.
Oh my god, really good. It's Chinese, perfect. Where did you learn?
Where did I learn? Duolingo.
Maybe trying to pick up girls.
Don't tell my girlfriend that. So good. Well, welcome to Berlin. We're glad to have you here. And as always, if anybody in the audience has any questions here, just raise your hand. We've got Sebastian and Lisa here to bring the microphone to you. Otherwise, I guess I think maybe one of my first questions is, well, have you been in? When did you get to Berlin? Today? Yesterday?
The day before yesterday, I was very, very lucky. So I checked the weather before I left. It's raining and cold. I don't like cold, but I was lucky when I got here. Was first day, I think Wednesday, Thursday was sunny. It's like summertime. I was like, wow, it's like really, really the universe very nice to me. So it's like I read what I wish for. So I went out like dressed sexy, take some pictures of Berlin. So I feel, I don't know, first time I was here, I was a tour member for the Berlin Film Festival. And I feel very welcome. So I really, really like the energy of Germany and German people and the culture. I feel people like very, very warm. They probably don't express it, but I feel they're very elegant, very kind of reserved in a way. So you have to get to know them to know they're actually very warm. So every time I have opportunity, I'll come to Germany because I feel sort of at home. Ich liebe dich.
Well done. I think your German is better than my Chinese.
German language is most difficult. I think I did one time, they asked me to do Olympic in China. I actually did on TV, was explain and telling a little bit history of Olympic in German. This is impossible. I got about 4 o'clock memorization. The song's like, ooh, it's very difficult.
Speaking of languages, so you were born in China, you grew up in China, you spent quite a lot of time there, and then when you started acting, shortly after you started acting, you moved to the US. And you didn't speak English when you moved to the US, did you?
No, I feel like now that I basically forgot my Chinese and my English is still not very good. Then I did a film of Taxi 3 in French. So I learned everything, sort of, I really learned a lot of German, but I forgot. It's like, sort of like, sometimes people ask me, so what do you dream? In your dream, which language? I said, I have no language in my dream. It's funny, I remember the story, everything, but I don't remember the language. It just maybe my mind is more active on image, on the feelings of just awareness of something instead of language. So because the language is really, really difficult, it's very technical. Yeah, I did not speak English. It was really, really difficult. I was watching TV. I cannot even catch up, say yes or welcome. It's really, really difficult. And I made a lot of mistakes and cried a lot, especially like I went to audition. I was in New York. I went to audition for theater, for Shakespeare. Can you imagine it? I was like, to be or not to be. The casting director actually picked up the phone, making phone call in front of me. I was crying. Then in New York, there's a Broadway, and there's a street called Bowery, right? The numbers are very difficult for me to remember. I went to the wrong place, and there was a Spanish lady who was yelling at the kid. Then my agent said, why didn't you go to audition? I said, I went in somebody's apartment. So it's really difficult for the numbers, like a lot of tears, a lot of adjustment, a lot of, you learn to be patient, accept yourself, accept the situation, just to know it's all beautiful experience in life.
So that's something, you have, as far as culturally, languages, things are different, but culturally as well. You have, the East and the West. Were there also difficulties with the culture when you moved away from China?
I think the Western culture, like the language in English, always I want this, I'm going this, I'm doing this. It's always about I. But where I came from is individual group culture, like all the Chinese painting. you don't even know who painted. You know the painting. So it's more like, communist country I grew up, but I ended up like somebody just asked me beside the cover of Playboy magazine. I feel very strange. I came from a communist country and very conservative, then come to the Western world, I become like a cover of Playboy magazine. So it's basically other people discover me. I feel like in the beginning somebody say you're sexy, I was so offended. I feel there's something wrong because in our culture, you're not supposed to, if you say somebody's sexy, it's rude. So it took me a long time to learn as a compliment. Now I like people say you're sexy, we like you. So it's very, very different. It's like, and also I learned to be very individual, to celebrate your individuality, to be proud of yourself, to strive for your dream. I think that's mostly a Western culture because people are encourage your personal achievement, personal establishment. So that I really feel I have freedom for that because in China, I often dress like sexy or say my own ideas and I get punished because it's just different culture. So I feel more accepted, more free in the Western culture.
So is that something where you moved to the kind of more free or more liberal or whatever you want to call it, Western culture, and now you're able to celebrate yourself, you're able to be proud of yourself? Is that something that you can now look back on? Because growing up and even until your late teens, early 20s, you didn't have a very easy time. You had a hard time growing up, and you were in the Red Army, and you went to Tibet, and you had to deal with a lot of difficulties. Does that make it easier now in this Western culture to look back and say, look at what all I've accomplished, look at these difficulties that I've overcome?
I don't think things like that. I feel like because I'm looking at this, but I'm actually looking at you, all of you. I don't see myself. So I don't feel much of difference than when they tell me you're Asian, you're from somewhere else. Okay, I'm different. But I feel like this world, if I have a power, I would say I'm like have the chance to be a president or anything, I would diminish all the countries because I think literally country building the walls, the boundaries, and somehow it's not united. I think the world, I'm very spiritual in a way, naturally. I think the sky is our home. We're all brothers, sisters, doesn't matter, regardless we look different, a different culture. I think that way we breathe so much more freedom and harmony in the world. So I'm really like, not so much aware of, and now I'm open, I'm free, I'm not so much aware of what I achieved. I think I'm very lucky to be gifted, even like sitting here, share this moment with all of you. Probably we'll never see each other again, but this moment is belong to us. I really treasure every moment of life. I think that's the meaning of living. It's in the moment, and you enjoy, you give, you share, you feel joy, you share something that is simple and precious.
Very well said. And so, something similar to that, do you think we are a product kind of our own mind? Like, if we project being positive, then positive things will happen, or if we project being negative, then negative things will happen.
I think so, but in my world, it's a vocabulary. Like, I don't have jealousy, hatred, darkness, all of this vocabulary. I'm seeing now, but not seeing. I'm not thinking of it. I'm not exercising. What you say is right. Whatever you project, that's what you get back. But when you're thinking, if there's no choice, I'm all positive. I'm all great. I'm all like here to give the best. Because I think the gift, we all have our gift, but the gift is for us to give. It's not to keep. But if we're having appreciation and thinking like living one moment of day, I was like having my social media, I always give cookies. The other day I said I love you at this moment, but the moment is me. I live for the moment. But every moment by moment become internal. That moment become internal, a long forever moment. So that's how I live life. That's how I feel. If you live life with that principle, life is so much simpler and easier.
It's very well said. Very well said. Did I see it? No, I didn't see it. Oh, there's one. There's a question here. Sebastian, in the pink. Sam. Salmon. salmon pink. It's
Sam,
fun.
I like your pink coat. I told you.
你好吗？
你好。
What roles do you like playing the most? Like gangster, superhero, damsel in distress? I mean, what type of roles do you like playing the most? And then also, how do you feel about other Asian females? They're always trying to make them like superheroes, you know, kick butt. How do you feel about that? Thank you.
Well, that's a good question. I feel like I have this little spirit in me. I'm like a peacemaker. Like I live life very freely, openly. So I basically do a lot of things. So it's sort of like in my life experience, I experience all kind of characters. When I play it, I really enjoy. I can do all of them. I think actually when our mind is our worst enemy, I've never learned acting. I never have fear. I'm so free, so I can do any role easily like that. So in that way, because a lot of times when you're open, you're not limited, you don't have fear, you're so much more powerful. I feel like I'm kind of mischievous, like all kinds of roles I play, which I did. I play comedy, science fiction, drama, and horror films, so all kinds of different kinds of roles. Like some are like very powerful, intelligent, some like just street girls, and some are very extremely sexy. I think it's an element of energy. I think we all can. When your mind is free, you believe you can do something, you actually can. If you have no fear. Like for me, like a lot of times in Hollywood, like director, it's kind of intimidating there. You get off your trailer, the producer, director tell you, are you ready? I say, I'm ready. Actually, at that time, I have no clue. But I know I know what I'm going to do, then I will do the things are great, but I don't know what it is, I just feel it. He said, okay, you want to show us? I said, turn the camera on. So I just have that confidence because I'm excited, because I want to know, I'm like you, like discover the moment. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm very excited for that moment. So after we're done, I said, turn the camera on, I did it. They said, you're great. They thought I prepared so much, but I did not. When I actually finished it, I said, am I good? I said, you're great. I was kind of a step out of my body. I looked at myself, I said, they asked me, how did you do it? I said, I have no clue. It's like, you know, especially as a performer, you have to be really honest, spontaneous, like children. Children on screen always move you because they're open, honest, they make you cry, you trust them. But adult, like, you kind of like perform. But luckily, I don't have that, how do you say, gate. I'm just open, I just trust. I always trust that moment. If I fail, I fail. So when I have no fear of failure, so I'm always like give magic. When you have no fear of failure, you're always gonna be successful. That's a really simple truth in life. That's what I learned. But you have to be brave. It's like you're walking to here, right? You're gonna go down. I discover in my life, if you go down, you're gonna die. Like difference from me and other people. It's like I'm afraid too, but whatever I'm afraid of, I'm gonna go to try. And what I discovered just in life, a metaphor. So when you not afraid of jumping the cliff, and you actually, only when you jump, you suddenly discover you have wings, you can fly. But you're not know you have wings before you're daring to jump. So that's the magic in life that we're not going to try, but when you actually try it, you can fly. So I'm such an adventurist. I will try, I will do dangerous things, I'll have, you know, because it's life, it's fun to do that way. So as a performer, that's what I do. I take any role, I do it any moment, and just right there, I will do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that's a really good way to, you know, to look at life and the way to kind of do things, and not just performing, but just in general. And you know, you mentioned Hollywood, and now you've of course started again to make films in China. Correct? In China? Yes, you make films in China.
Yes, I just did a film called Detective Chinatown 2. It's a #1 box office film in China. It's a comedy. So I did a film called Dumplings. I don't know if you see it. It's really, really intelligent, kind of a scary but sexy film. So I won the Asian Academy Award for it. So people cannot even recognize me in that film. So it looked totally different. Even my family members say, how did you do that? Because it's really far from my life experience. But I say, well, I don't know. It's like we have so much potential in life, we don't even know it. So we can do so much than we realize or than we live through even now. But you know, I encourage all of you to try something new because you don't even know it can be brilliant. I think that's the fun of life. It's not about destiny, it's about the joy each moment we're taking to take risks.
Is there a difference between the way movies are made or series or whatever are made in China and how they're made in the West?
Yeah, it's very different because in Asian film, Chinese film still kind of slow. You know, the pace is slow and the story is kind of, you already know the answer, they're still telling the story. Then Western culture is like a lot of fast food, quick, instant results. So it's like, in a way it's very good because they're always fast. You know, they don't want to do, before you know it, you already move on. I think in Asian still sentimental. You know, the love story take forever. It's, I think, all the Chinese Peking opera, like they always, like, I'm gonna leave the room, they're singing forever before they're leaving the room. I think it's a bit different culture, like we make soup, we make food, like some soup take 4 hours to cook it. But in Western world, it's like everything, you know, Western world, the chef's so easy. You cut yourself, you put sauce yourself, you know, everything's like, you do yourself. It's like, actually they lost a lot of ingredients and this beautiful culture of taking time. But the only thing, the wine, because you take so long to make the wine. So that's something always, the older the wine, it tastes better, the quality is better. So I think that's something for my personally I enjoy because there's so much richness, nuances in those time-making things or art product or getting to know the person. So I enjoy that process of taking your time.
So there was a question in the back?
Yeah, hi. I have a question about dumplings. And I want to know what was it like to working with Fu Chen and on the film in general, because yeah, the movie is very graphic and the topic is a little bit gruesome. What was it like?
Wow, you're basically reading my mind because I was there's a secret actually nobody knows since you asked. I just complete another film with him, and he did not want me to tell anybody yet. Because the character I played in Dumplings, so many people love the character. He wrote it, that character extended into another beautiful, heavy and creepy, scary but powerfully moving story. So I played a central character who also doing abortion. Because that's the contemporary world in Hong Kong. Like a lot of young kids get pregnant, but they cannot go to hospital. And their parents cannot know it, so they're hidden. Lots of underground, it's very sad, very powerful stories. And was taking my character. We did another film, we just finished. It's really, really powerful. So the dumplings actually, it's also about like the normal people's life and how they survive, how they express love, how they find humor, and how the really important of youth, how the man and woman trying so hard to become young. Basically, that's the theme of the film. And the character I play, basically, she's enjoy it. You can see her, she existed 2,000 years ago, or maybe 2,000 years later. It's about the joy of mischievous of something when you trust, like the power when you trust, you can actually change. Like my character enjoy of kind of like tease people and help people, loving people. Like in her life, it's like some mischievous kind of seducing and tease. I think it makes it very, very special in a kind of a dark way, but very, very sensual, very, very alluring. And it's something because shot by the Australia cinematographers, like always we work with Wong Kai-wai, the best director basically in Hong Kong, like In the Mood for Love. Shot by him is like everything like poetry. Even though it's kind of like a horror theme, but it's like poetry. It's like a Western, lot of horror films, scary, it's like a monster look. But that film's gently, mentally somehow gets to you in that mood of kind of horror, scaring but alluring. So I love working with him. He's very very daring, very open, very sexually challenged. So waiting for the next movie, it's called, I'll tell you the name, it'll be scary. So he asked me not to tell it, but I'm gonna tell because it's just nuts. It's called Master of Abortion. Master of Abortion. It's really, really powerful, but it's really about those women's beautiful, complicated life, but it's really, really powerful movie. Good question.
There's another question here in front, in the green.
2007 you do in Germany Shanghai Baby. Why don't you get an Italian release and no German release?
Why is there no Italian release of Shanghai Baby? No Italian?
Yeah, come on. It was only released in Italian, but no German release.
So the film Shanghai Baby was only released in Italian, but not German.
I don't know. I think it's directed by the German director. Yeah, and we shot because it's the most controversial book in China. It's very controversial band. So it's about this girl from Shanghai. Shanghai's most open place, and she's falling in love with a German guy. Also have a Chinese boyfriend. It's like triangle story. I don't know. I have no clue. I wish because you love it. A lot of people love it, and it's very open, contemporary, still very sexy, but very independent. Especially for a woman, it's a freedom, empower woman. Well, I hope they will. I don't know why. I actually don't know. It's about German guy this Chinese woman is madly in love with. I don't know why I didn't know.
Was the movie shoot in German or in English?
It's in English. We shot in Shanghai, also in, I think in Berlin, Dusseldorf, different places on the train station and apartment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good question. Thank you. Anybody else? Yeah, on the other side? No? I keep seeing hands go up, but it's always their phones. I keep seeing hands go up, but it's always somebody taking a picture with their
Yeah, I
phone.
share you because I did a movie. I think you know The Crow. So I want to share a little story with Brandon Lee because that was my first English movie. It was very, I don't understand your language. So it's like life is really short, it's unpredictable, uncertain. So he was basically sitting next to me every day doing makeup. So I think he felt for me because his father don't know English much, and in Hollywood it was difficult. He was very caring for me, so I didn't know who he was. He said, well, I heard you're Chinese. I said, yes. He said, I'm Chinese. I said, no, you look like this handsome Western guy. You're kidding me. He said, I am Chinese. I said, who is your Chinese? He said, my father Chinese. I said, well, okay, what's your father do? He said, my father's a big movie star. I said, okay, what's his name? He said, Bruce Lee. I was like, I never heard of it. He was like, you never heard of it? I said, I'm sorry, I don't know. He said, you're probably one of the only person in the world don't know my father. I feel very bad. He was kind of disappointed because I didn't really speak English. So I feel bad. We're shooting in North Carolina. I called my friend in New York. I said, who's Bruce Lee? So then he told me his Chinese name. So next day I told him, I said, I only know, I don't speak English. I know Li Xiaolong. I don't know Bruce Lee, but I said, now I know who your father is, Li Xiaolong. It's like Bruce Lee and Li Xiaolong, totally different. He was like so happy finally. He said, no wonder. It was like relieved. I feel like that's the culture difference, the language difference. Even like a lot of my movies, like The Red Corner I did with Richard Gere, called The Red Corner in Asia is called Two People Meet in New York or somewhere. I said, I never did that movie. He said, it's you. I said, no, I never did it. They changed names.
So we talked about that with somebody else earlier, how the films changed their names. And I think names are also interesting in some way, like you mentioned Bruce Lee and then his Chinese name, and yourself as well with BAI LING. There's the phenomenon where, in China you have the last name first and the first name last.
You know, that's a good question because my name, because in our culture, the concept name, there's no first name and last name. We don't think that way. If my name is BAI LING, that's BAI LING, but mostly, all the time, your family name first. So actually, if my name in Western way should be Ling Bai, but I don't like it. I say, who's Ling Bai? I don't know. I'm always BAI LING. So people ask, what's your name? How you call? You say, you can call me Bai. That's a funny story. You can call me BAI LING or BAI LING, not Ling Bai. The first, I don't know the English. They say, hey, are you bi? I said, of course I'm bi. I said, are you really bi? I said, yeah, I'm bi. Everybody said, wow, she's so proud of him. I said, what's wrong? I said, no, nothing wrong. But they were just laughing. And I said, what's wrong? I asked my friend, bi means bisexual. I didn't know. I said, I'm bi. But actually, I appreciate the beauty of women. I often, I go everywhere, I say, beautiful woman. I say, you're beautiful. There are actually a lot of women look at me strange. They think I'm trying to pick them up or not. I just appreciate the beauty of a woman. So it's like the openness appreciation. But the first time I was in US, I don't know English. Oh, we love your ass. I said, you love my ass? I was like so offended. The Westerns too open. But they actually said, I love your eyes. I said, ass? Love my ass? It's like, and also another story. I was dating some guy, it's like a composer, right? And they said, the guy trying to pick him up. Said, you have boyfriend? I said, yeah. He said, what do your boyfriend do? I said, he's a computer. My boyfriend's a computer. Boyfriend computer? I said, yeah. It's computer. I said, computer music? They think I'm out of my mind. It's computer music. I said, yeah. So they look at me strange. Then I found out I was a composer. But I say computer. It's a lot of language barriers. It's very difficult in the beginning. Like when people Western culture say nice to meet you, I looking at the guy, wow, nice to meet you. I was following, I take it personally. Then he turned around, say nice to meet you. I say, how can you do that? But in our culture, if you say nice to meet you, it's special. Like in Western, oh, I love you, I like to meet you. It's like you don't mean it, you just say it. But in our culture, you don't say that unless you really mean it. So I was heartbroken many times because I take it wrong. I look at the guy, I feel like in love about them. They're not, they just say, let's have lunch. I said, when? I said, when? Tell me when. Because it's a different culture. Like here, let's have lunch doesn't really mean we'll have lunch. But for us, let's have lunch, that means tomorrow. It's like a lot of this culture difference. I have to learn not take it personally. I'm sometimes too serious because in my culture, when you say things, mean it. In Western, people are polite, they're nice, but I say, oh, I love you, but they don't really love you. They love you, but it's not mean that personal love.
It's very different than the cultures. So, well, that's going to wrap us up for today. We're out of time. We're going to keep moving the schedule, but will you be at your table for the rest of the afternoon?
Yes, I'll be there signing autograph. Hopefully I see you in a couple of years. So I really, really appreciate this moment with all of you. I'm very lucky. I feel like it's sunlight for me all bright. I brought sunlight from LA to here. So I just feel like, I appreciate this moment you're here, sharing this moment. And best of luck, good fortune for all of you.
So thank you everybody for having us. Thank you to Ms. Bailey.